The last couple of days have been far too hot, very muggy in the UK. So not only have we had the heat, we've also had the humidity, which makes it very difficult to sleep. But it also makes it very difficult to actually film under lights inside, which is the reason why I'm standing out here again, because there is a light breeze coming from that direction, whereas last night when I was actually trying to do something and film it, or film me doing it, I abandoned it in the end because it was just far too hot. I was just absolute sweating buckets. Didn't look particularly pretty on the video, so I decided to scrap the whole lot, wait until it cools down a bit, and then I'll start videoing again. But for this, I've decided to do it out here. It does still look green, although if you look down there, it looks a bit brown because we haven't had rain for a while and everything. All the grass is now starting to go into scorchio mode. But there we are. Anyway, it is about 8:30 in the morning in my leafy area of England. And in about an hour and a half's time, this place will be absolutely packed with people walking that way. And the reason we're walking that way is because that way is the Farnborough Air Show. And I went yesterday, I'm going again today. Today I'm going to go and sit on the flight line, drink beer and watch the air displays. Yesterday was all about clambering on and off aeroplanes, which was really interesting because I proposed to be a swanky buyer. I managed to get myself onto the Falcons and the Gulfstreams, and to see what options you can have on a Falcon and a Gulfstream. And believe me, if you've got big enough pockets, you can have anything you like. But this is all about music tech, not about very fast jets, or very not so fast jets, but very expensive jets. Anyway, I bought a sound library about probably getting on for a month ago. Okay, maybe not quite so, maybe 3 weeks ago. And the reason I bought a sound library is because it has lots of original discs from different people in terms of T1 sounds, etc. And I thought it was probably worthwhile buying, so I did. And it arrived. There's one chunk of it. There's another chunk of it. There's another chunk of it. Okay, and these things, just grab hold of. Some of these I've never ever seen before. I've never seen them come up on the internet like that one, for argument's sake. Okay, so that's some Legendary Masters series. There are, what's that, 5 discs in there, by the looks of it. Did the Ethnic, 3, 2, Avant-Garde, Rock set, Brock's Western set. No idea what these sounds are. Haven't even loaded them up yet. Anyway, I've not seen them. I've never seen them come up. I'm sure they've always been there, but I've never seen them. Anyway, I bought that about 3 weeks ago. It turned up this week. My mother very kindly brought them over went to the post office and picked them up for me, and then brought them over. Mothers are really kind like that, aren't they? I also got hold of the original T-Series RAM discs. This is 1 to 10 minus 2. Not quite sure where 2 went, but I've got 9 of the originals there, so that's pretty good going. Anyway, as I've said before, I'm building up quite a sound library of discs or sounds for the Korg T-Series, and to a lesser extent for the M series. And one of the things I've been really struggling with is how do I preserve these, because these are getting 25. These are 25 years old. You know, some of these discs now, and the read-write media on these discs will have a finite life. And I've said this before on the channel. I need to somehow preserve the discs, so I don't really want to be using the master discs. I want to be using a copy of the disc. Now, the problem you have with these things is Korg, like a lot of manufacturers around the same time, and Sonic were another one, Roland were another one, and definitely a lot of the Roland samplers, that completely different format, didn't use the standard DOS format that we're all used to nowadays. So, put a disc in a computer, it'll read it. Can't do that. Won't do that. So, after lots of research on the internet, as you well know, if you watch the channel, I bought one of these. Now that's just a bulk standard Dell Optiplex, okay, loaded with Windows XP, okay. And the reason why it's had to be loaded with Windows XP is because anything beyond Windows XP won't work with what I've been trying to do. I have tried, so I needed a Windows XP machine. So I've got a Windows XP machine, and the last couple of days I have been tinkering with that machine. I thought I would either succeed or fail a lot quicker than I have, but it has taken a lot of sort of tinkering, going off to the internet, finding something, coming back, tinkering again. But the result of that is that now I've got a specific build on this machine. It's not a standard XP build. It has been changed, and it has been changed to support reading one of these. Okay. In actual fact, I think now I can actually probably read most of the manufacturer's discs from this period of time. I think I can read all the Roland ones, I think I can read all the Korg ones, and I think I can read the N-Sonic and anybody else who produced a machine that had a specific disc format. I think I've now got this thing so it can read it, which means, and I have done this was my donor disc. I created an image from that donor disc, and I burned that image back to this disc, which has got nothing on it because it's just been in and out of the machine for the last few days as I've been testing stuff. And the T1 does seem to be able to read this. Okay, so that means I now think I've got the way of getting these backed up so I can burn new discs and use these discs in the studio, and these discs can all go off into storage. That's the idea. Now, what it also means is that I'm now in a position to be able to help other people out if they have the same scenario that I've got, which is they want to be able to back up their original discs and just use a clone copy of the original disc. So if you need help with that, and you're in England or you're in Europe, I can probably help you out. I'm not going to tell you how I built this because it's the wrong thing to say. I don't want to say it's proprietary because it's not. You can do the same thing I did if you do it on the internet. However, it is a little bit involved, and I think unless you've got your head on that way, you might not be able to get to the same place I have, because it has taken a while to tinker with it. Okay. And the reason I haven't videoed the way I did it is because it's taken so long to do it. If I had videoed it, I would have, well, it probably would have taken 3 times as long to do it in video, but I didn't know how the pattern worked because I had to put stuff in and then take stuff out again. But now I've got to a position where I have something that's working, okay? So this can now go off, this will now go off to the studio and sit in the corner in the studio and just become a slave to one of the other machines in the studio, so that I can just copy images on and off it as I need them. Really, really happy with that. It's one real achievement. Now, this is probably not going to be very much longer today because, as I say, I'm going to go and have a shower in a minute. I'm going to go off to the Farnborough Show. But over the last week or so, reading the user groups, there seems to have been a swell that Roland are going to be doing something on the 8th of August, with some more equipment being announced. And there also seems to be a fairly strong swell that new something is going to happen in the ARIA arena. Now, earlier in the year, Roland pitched up and they introduced the TR8S, which is sort of the TR8 on steroids, with the S standing for steroids, of course. No, it doesn't stand for steroids, by the way. But that arrived earlier this year, and it was a bit of a game changer, I think, in terms of drum machines again. I have to be honest and say I haven't got a TR8S at the moment. I'm still sort of debating within myself whether it's worth the investment or not, given I have a TR8 and I'm quite happy with my TR8. But what it does do is it gives you all the original drum machines preloaded, and the ability to do other things on it as well. So it has moved the TR8 platform forward, if you like. Now, one of my big bugbears about the ARIA range, especially with the introduction of the boutiques, is that the ARIA mixer itself, the MX1, is woefully inadequate for where Roland have gone. So it only allows you to plug in 4 devices into the mixer, and it only allows you to power 1. Okay, so unless you've got external power, the MX1 will not power more than one boutique device, which I always saw as a bit of a short-sightedness on Roland's behalf. I sort of somehow think that the MX1 concept was brought on before the boutique concept got going, and I think the two development streams, even though there's very, very similar technologies, the two development streams didn't cross over or didn't talk to each other. That's my feeling, because otherwise why would you have done that? But there are rumours that we might be seeing an MX2, where Roland might be, and I say might be, addressing the issues or the problems that the MX1 has in terms of its boutique range. I see Roland issuing more boutique bits. All right, I don't see that stopping. I think there's going to be more boutique bits come out. I think they've got 13 pieces of boutique equipment out there at the moment, all covering specific areas of the market. They still have a bunch of other legendary synths that they could model in the same way and release on the boutique platform. I really do see that happening. I have to be honest, I see that happening. So they do need to somehow support it from a mixer point of view. I've never been a fan of the 3/8 inch jack. I'm still not a fan of the 3/8 inch jack. Just don't think they're robust enough for industrial purposes. So we shall see what happens there. There's other rumours about possibly a sort of 49 note keyboard somewhere between the S1 and the S8. Can't really see that happening. There's also rumours that they're going to upgrade the S8. Again, I can't see that, given the fact that we've just had a version or a firmware upgrade to the System 8, fixing a whole heap of issues that we've been living with for the last 2 years. It's taken long enough for them to issue a patch, I must admit. I mean, it's Roland R&D's department should be bloody shot for waiting so long. These things, you should be putting updates and patches out to fix bugs, I don't know, every 6 months at least. You know, if you've got a platform that's got a number of issues on it, why are you not fixing it? I do not understand the logic here, but it just keeps people, you know, people like me, you know, will go and buy it anyway. But I just find it very, very frustrating, is the word I'm looking for, that you buy into a platform and then all of a sudden the manufacturer just doesn't support that platform going forward. But we have had an upgrade, so there is rumours that there's going to be a 49 note version of a System 8, a System 1, like a System 4 or something like that. I really can't see it. I really can't see that. But I do think we probably will have another boutique of some description. It could be that they bring out something like a 727 or a 609, or some more drum machines, because obviously they brought out the 808 clone in the boutique, the 909 clone in the boutique. Actually, the 909 clone in the boutique I didn't really rate when I first heard it, but I've got a friend of mine who's got one now, and I'm actually quite impressed with it. Yeah. There's me that says I would never ever buy a boutique synthesizer. I now have 4 of them in the studio. So hey ho. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that for this one. Hopefully the weather will cool down a bit in the next couple of days and I'll get back to video, and I have got a number of stock videos actually that I've already filmed, so I can sort of cover that for a few weeks until I can get back to making videos, but it is just far too hot in the evenings and during the day to actually make videos where I have to have lights on inside the property or inside the studio. It's just too hot. I can't do it. I know I need to lose weight, but I don't need to lose weight like that. Anyway, I'm going to go and enjoy the air show. Wish you a good week. See you next week. Bye bye. So this is the point in the video where I turn around to you, my viewer, and say, if you enjoyed the content of this video, please give it a thumbs up. The way the Google and YouTube analytic engines work is that the more likes you get against a video, the more it gets promoted by YouTube and Google, and therefore more people with the similar interests to what you have and I have get to see this content. This channel is driven by my love of music technology. That's what it's called, the Music Tech Guy Thought. If you've got queries, want to ask questions about themes or issues I raise on this channel, please do. Put your comments into the comment section below the video, and I will try to address whatever issue it is you've raised or whatever question you've raised. If it's something to do with me making future videos in terms of how to do something on a particular piece of equipment I possess, please feel free to say that as well. I can't promise to make videos on all the requests I get, but I do have a jolly good go at making most of them. Around about here is the subscribe button. Again, to do with the YouTube and Google analytic process, the more subscribers the channel gets, the more the channel gets promoted, and the more people get to see the content that you have obviously just watched. If you want to see my latest video, it will be in one of these two boxes on this side of the screen. Also, there is a second box there, and that video will be chosen for you by YouTube based on your YouTube preferences. I look forward to the next time that we interact, and I do mean interact because I always enjoy reading your comments back to me. But for now, bye bye.